The shocking mistakes everyone makes when eating sardines. Sardines are truly remarkable little fish, often overlooked in the vast ocean of available foods, yet brimming with incredible benefits that can profoundly impact your health. In fact, they stand out as one of the few seafood options that naturally maintain a remarkably low mercury content, positioning them as a consistently safe and exceptionally healthy choice for regular consumption. These tiny powerhouses are densely packed with essential nutrients, acting as a veritable treasure trove for your cardiovascular system, your cognitive functions, and even the structural integrity of your bones. Their nutritional profile boasts a substantial amount of protein, crucial omega-3 fatty acids that fight inflammation, and a significant dose of calcium, vital for strong bones and healthy teeth. Furthermore, they are a good source of various vitamins that your body absolutely depends on for optimal functioning. However, despite their inherent goodness, a surprising number of individuals inadvertently diminish these remarkable advantages, compromise the delightful taste, and sometimes even negatively affect their well-being through common yet preventable errors in their handling and preparation. It's worth taking a moment to reflect on your own habits. When you embark on a grocery run, are you confident that you're selecting the most appropriate kind of sardines from the abundant shelf selection? Once opened, do you ensure that any leftover sardines are stored with meticulous care, or do you unwittingly allow them to spoil? Have you ever found yourself rinsing sardines under a stream of water, harboring the misconception that this act enhances their healthfulness? And perhaps the most significant question of all, are you discarding the very component of the sardine that is actually the most concentrated source of its nutritional prowess? The stark reality is that sardines frequently fall short of their potential, not because of any inherent deficiency within the can itself, but rather due to the way people interact with them after purchase. From careless storage mishaps to fundamental cooking oversights, these minuscule fish often lose their intrinsic goodness before they even have a chance to impart their numerous health benefits to your body. Throughout this exploration, we will meticulously dissect the prevalent blunders that individuals commit when it comes to sardines. While some of these errors might initially appear insignificant, a deeper understanding of the underlying reasons will undoubtedly illuminate the profound impact they have on the overall experience and health outcomes. By the conclusion of this discussion, you will be armed with the knowledge to savor sardines precisely as nature and thoughtful preparation intended. Before we embark on this journey, would you do us a small favor? A simple tap on the like button and a subscription to our channel will welcome you into our growing community of discerning and health-conscious eaters. If you find yourself drawn to videos like this, a quick yes in the comments section will let us know you're actively engaged and supportive. Now, let us dive headfirst into uncovering these crucial mistakes. Mistake 10. Throwing out the bones. This stands as one of the most frequent and regrettable slip-ups people make. The act of meticulously removing the delicate, tiny bones from sardines before consumption. On the surface, this might seem like a logical and prudent action. After all, with larger fish, bones can indeed be sharp, unpleasantly noticeable, and in some instances, even pose a choking hazard. However, sardines present a starkly different scenario. Their bones are remarkably pliable, entirely edible, and perfectly safe to chew. The canning process itself, with its high-pressure cooking, renders these bones so tender that the vast majority of people consume them without even realizing their presence. And here lies a crucial, often unappreciated, secret. These minuscule bones are an absolute powerhouse of nutrition. They represent one of the most exceptional natural sources of calcium readily available in the realm of seafood. Astonishingly, a single serving of sardines, consumed with their bones intact, can provide you with more than a third of your recommended daily intake of calcium. This essential mineral is fundamental for maintaining the robustness of your skeletal structure, ensuring the health of your teeth, and facilitating the proper functioning of your muscular system. Moreover, these edible bones are also a source of vitamin D, a nutrient that plays a critical role in enabling your body to effectively absorb the calcium it ingests. The synergistic combination of calcium and vitamin D forms an unparalleled alliance for safeguarding bone health, a protection that becomes increasingly vital as we navigate through the aging process. Consequently, when you choose to remove the bones, you are not only subjecting yourself to an unnecessary and time-consuming task, but more importantly, you are willfully discarding a wealth of nutrients that your body genuinely requires. Furthermore, and perhaps most surprisingly to many, you don't even detect their presence in terms of taste. The bones seamlessly integrate into the texture of the fish, blending so effectively that many regular sardine enthusiasts cannot discern the boundary between the flesh and the bone. While it is true that some manufacturers offer deboned sardines, these products typically come with a higher price tag and often exhibit a less appealing, fragmented appearance, a direct consequence of the mechanical process involved in their removal. This translates to you paying a premium for diminished nutritional value and a less desirable visual presentation. The solution, therefore, is remarkably straightforward and incredibly beneficial. Embrace the bones. They are not only safe and highly nutritious, but also virtually imperceptible once you begin to savor the sardines. Consider them a hidden bonus, a nutritional windfall that elevates sardines to the status of one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can readily acquire. Mistake 9, choosing water-packed instead of oil-packed. A significant misstep often occurs right in the aisles of the grocery store during the crucial act of selecting sardines. This pertains to the choice between sardines packed in water versus those preserved in oil. At first encounter, the notion of water-packed might intuitively strike one as the healthier alternative, conjuring images of fewer calories and a lighter, more delicate flavor profile. However, the underlying truth reveals a far more nuanced reality. When you opt for sardines submerged in water rather than those immersed in oil, you are inadvertently foregoing both a significant enhancement in flavor and a substantial boost in nutritional value. Sardines, by their very nature, are inherently rich in beneficial fats, with a particular abundance of omega-3 fatty acids. These are the very same fatty acids celebrated for their potent anti-inflammatory properties, their protective effects on heart health, and their ability to maintain the natural moisture of the fish, thereby enhancing your body's capacity to effectively utilize these beneficial omega-3s. In stark contrast, water offers no such protective or enriching benefits to the fish. Sardines that have been preserved in water are frequently characterized by a bland, dry, and at times even a metallic taste that tends to develop over time. This degradation occurs because water is incapable of shielding the delicate natural oils inherent within the fish from the process of oxidation. As these oils break down, both the taste and the nutritional potency of the sardines inevitably diminish. Oil, on the other hand, acts as a formidable shield, a protective barrier that preserves the sardines' freshness and preserves their delicious taste for an extended period. In fact, a considerable number of culinary enthusiasts profess that sardines preserved in olive oil actually improve in flavor with the passage of time, developing a richer, more complex profile. While it is true that sardines packed in oil do possess a higher calorie count, it is crucial to recognize that these are predominantly healthy fats, the very kind that confer significant advantages to your body. This seemingly minor selection at the point of purchase translates into a substantial difference in the quality and impact of your sardine consumption. If your objective is to enjoy sardines that are not only delicious, but also deliver the maximum possible nutritional return, then bypass the water-packed tins and unequivocally opt for those preserved in high-quality oil. Mistake 8, letting opened cans sit too long. Here we encounter a mistake that is almost universally made by individuals at some point in their culinary journey, the regrettable habit of allowing an opened can of sardines to linger unconsumed for an excessive period. While unopened cans of sardines possess an impressive shelf life, often remaining viable and safe for consumption for many years, the moment that lid is pried open, a biological clock effectively begins to tick. As soon as the sardines are exposed to the ambient air, the process of deterioration commences with an accelerated pace. The naturally occurring healthy oils contained within the fish begin to undergo oxidation, a process that not only subtly alters the flavor profile, but also systematically degrades the valuable omega-3 fats, the very compounds that are typically the primary motivation for individuals to incorporate sardines into their diets in the first place. Consequently, the longer these opened sardines remain exposed, the less nutritional benefit you will derive from them, and the less palatable they will become. The precise duration for which sardines remain in a palatable and safe state after opening is contingent upon the liquid they are packed in. Sardines preserved in water tend to degrade at the most rapid rate, typically becoming less desirable and potentially unsafe within a mere 24 hours. Those that are packed in oil exhibit a slightly more extended period of viability, generally remaining good for 2 to 3 days when stored appropriately in the refrigerator. If the sardines are encased in a tomato sauce, you might reasonably extend this time frame to approximately 4 days. However, there exists an absolute rule that cannot be disregarded. After the passage of 1 full week, irrespective of the packing medium, sardines are considered spoiled and unequivocally unsafe for consumption. An additional prevalent oversight involves the practice of leaving opened sardines within their original opened metal can. Once exposed to the environment, the metal of the can can initiate a chemical reaction with the air, thereby hastening the spoilage process and, regrettably, imparting a most unpleasant metallic aftertaste. This is precisely why leading food safety experts strongly advocate for the immediate transfer of open sardines into a clean, airtight glass or plastic container. This simple act of transference effectively seals out the air, significantly slows down the rate of nutrient degradation, and crucially, preserves the intended flavor of the sardines. If your intention is to maximize the longevity of opened sardines, freezing presents a viable option. However, it is important to note that the process of freezing can alter the texture of the fish, often rendering them softer and less firm. The most prudent and recommended practice is to only open a quantity of sardines that you anticipate consuming within a couple of days, and, without fail, to transfer any remaining portions into a suitable sealed container. Adopting this straightforward habit will ensure that your sardines remain safe, retain their freshness, and continue to be a rich source of vital nutrition. Mistake 7. Ignoring expiration dates and storage rules. A widespread misconception among consumers is that canned food products possess an indefinite shelf life, a notion that is demonstrably untrue. While sardines, when properly sealed and stored under optimal conditions, can indeed remain good for several years, it is imperative to acknowledge that certain environmental factors can significantly accelerate their degradation. Heat, direct sunlight, and excessive moisture represent the primary adversaries to the integrity of canned sardines. If you are in the habit of leaving cans exposed in a sun-drenched kitchen window, positioned too close to the stove's heat source, or relegated to a damp, poorly ventilated pantry, you are inadvertently hastening the breakdown of both the integrity of the can itself and, consequently, the quality of the fish contained within. Over time, the natural oils present in the fish will undergo oxidation, leading to a souring of flavors and a noticeable decline in nutritional value. Even more concerning is the potential for a compromised can to become a breeding ground for harmful bacteria, rendering the sardines unsafe for consumption. Furthermore, there is a crucial detail that many individuals remain unaware of. Not all varieties of sardines possess the same longevity. Those preserved in acidic liquids, such as tomato sauce or other similar marinades, tend to break down more rapidly than their counterparts packed in oil. This distinction necessitates a strategic approach to storage and consumption. If you find yourself with an assortment of different sardine varieties, it is advisable to implement a rotation system, prioritizing the consumption of those packed in acidic mediums first, and reserving the oil-packed tins for extended storage. Equally critical is the practice of thoroughly inspecting each can before proceeding with opening it. Any visible signs of bulging, rust, significant dents along the seams, or evidence of leaks should serve as an immediate red flag. In such circumstances, it is unequivocally best to err on the side of caution and discard the can without hesitation. Consider it from this perspective. Sardines represent one of the most economically accessible superfoods available on the market today. It is a lamentable waste to allow them to spoil, and more importantly, it is an unacceptable risk to jeopardize your health due to inadequate storage practices. With a modicum of diligence and attention to detail, you can ensure that every can of sardines retains its freshness, remains safe for consumption, and continues to deliver all the nutritional benefits it promises. Mistake 6. Only eating them straight from the can. One of the most celebrated attributes of sardines is their inherent convenience. They are ready to be enjoyed the moment the tin is opened, eliminating the need for any elaborate preparation. However, this very convenience can paradoxically become a disadvantage. If your sole method of consuming sardines involves eating them directly from the can without any accompanying accompaniments or culinary integration, you are effectively missing out on a vast spectrum of delightful flavors and culinary variety. This limited approach is precisely why many individuals find themselves quickly becoming bored with sardines and abandoning them altogether. The truth is, sardines are far more adaptable and versatile in the kitchen than most people give them credit for. Instead of viewing them solely as a pre-made snack, consider them as a dynamic ingredient capable of elevating a multitude of dishes. For instance, by gently mashing them with a small amount of creamy yogurt, smooth avocado, or a drizzle of rich olive oil, you can effortlessly create a protein-packed spread, perfect for slathering onto toasted bread or crisp crackers. When served on toast, consider augmenting them with complementary toppings such as zesty capers, finely chopped onions, or thinly sliced ripe tomatoes. This combination yields a Mediterranean-inspired bite that not only feels sophisticated and gourmet, but also requires mere minutes to assemble. Sardines also possess a remarkable ability to enhance hot dishes. Stirring them into a simmering pasta sauce towards the very end of the cooking process adds a significant depth of flavor and an invaluable infusion of omega-3s. Similarly, adding them to a stir-fry just before serving allows them to retain their integrity while simultaneously boosting the protein content of the meal. Even the humble pizza can be significantly improved with the addition of sardines. Their inherently savory and slightly salty character harmonizes beautifully with ingredients like briny olives, sweet bell peppers, and fragrant fresh herbs. For a truly power-packed start to your day, consider incorporating sardines into your breakfast routine by folding them into scrambled eggs or a fluffy omelet. Beyond the sheer pleasure of enhanced taste, the nutritional benefits are also amplified. Pairing sardines with other nutrient-rich foods, such as vegetables, whole grains, or healthy fats, can actually improve your body's ability to absorb their inherent nutrients. For example, consuming sardines alongside foods rich in vitamin C, like tomatoes or bell peppers, can facilitate a more efficient absorption of iron. Therefore, while it is perfectly acceptable to enjoy sardines straight from the can on occasion, it is highly advisable not to confine your culinary repertoire to this single approach. With a modest application of creativity, sardines can transform from a simple canned fish into a secret ingredient that imbues a vast array of dishes with increased excitement and superior nutritional value. Mistake 5. Thinking all sardines taste the same. A pervasive and rather inaccurate assumption held by many is that all sardines are fundamentally identical. The belief often cited is that opening one can will yield a taste indistinguishable from any other. However, this notion is demonstrably far from the truth. Much like the nuanced differences found in wine, coffee, or artisanal cheese, sardines exhibit considerable variation in their flavor profiles, textural qualities, and overall quality. These differences are largely dictated by their geographical origin, the method of their preservation, and even the specific time of year during which they were harvested. Consider, for instance, the impact of their aquatic environment. Sardines caught in the Atlantic waters can possess a decidedly different taste compared to those originating from the Mediterranean or Pacific Oceans. This divergence is attributable to variations in water temperature, the fish's diet, and the overall ecological conditions of their habitats, all of which exert a significant influence. Sardines from colder waters, such as those sourced from Norway, often present a firmer texture and a cleaner, more refined flavor. Conversely, sardines originating from warmer oceanic regions may exhibit a softer consistency and a richer, more pronounced taste. The season of capture also plays a noteworthy role. Fish harvested during the spring might offer a lighter flavor profile, while those caught later in the year tend to be fattier and consequently more intensely flavorful. Beyond these environmental factors, the liquid medium in which the sardines are preserved exerts a dramatic influence on their taste. Whether they are packed in olive oil, a tangy tomato sauce, a robust mustard, or simply water, each medium imparts its unique characteristics. For example, Spanish and Portuguese sardines, typically preserved in high-quality olive oil, often develop deep, complex flavors that become more pronounced over time. Some producers further enhance their sardines through a smoking process, imbuing them with a distinct savory richness, while others opt for infused oils or spiced sauces to introduce an extra layer of complexity and piquancy. Therefore, if you have had a less than satisfactory experience with one particular tin of sardines, it is premature to write off the entire category. It is entirely possible that you simply encountered a specific type that did not align with your preferences. By actively exploring different brands, diverse origins, and varied packing styles, you can fundamentally transform your perception and appreciation of sardines. It is crucial to understand that sardines are not a monolithic entity. They are a diverse culinary offering. Once you engage in a spirit of experimentation, you will undoubtedly discover a rich and varied world of flavors waiting to be unlocked within those unassuming little tins. Mistake 4: pairing sardines with the wrong flavors. Sardines, with their inherent richness and pronounced savory character, are indeed bold little fish. Their natural oils and robust taste make them potent ingredients capable of transforming a dish. However, this very potency necessitates careful consideration of their culinary companions. One of the most significant errors individuals make is combining sardines with flavors that create a discordant clash rather than a harmonious balance. The fundamental principle to remember is that sardines thrive on contrast. Their inherent richness is best showcased when juxtaposed with bright, fresh, or tangy ingredients that effectively cut through their oily texture. Think of elements such as freshly squeezed lemon juice, a splash of acidic vinegar, briny capers, ripe tomatoes, or the sharpness of pickled vegetables. These assertive flavors do not overpower the delicate taste of the sardine. Rather, they accentuate it, resulting in a more balanced and invigorating culinary experience. The addition of fresh herbs, including vibrant parsley, aromatic dill, or pungent cilantro, also contributes significantly by introducing a clean, refreshing note that lightens the overall composition. Conversely, certain flavor profiles should generally be avoided. Heavy, creamy sauces can often create an overly rich sensation when paired with oily sardines, overwhelming the palate. Similarly, excessively sweet glazes or fruit-based toppings can conflict with the sardine's natural saltiness, leading to an unpleasant and jarring taste combination. To illustrate this point with a practical example, consider sardines served on toast with a simple garnish of lemon and fresh herbs. This combination offers a light and satisfying experience. Now, contrast this with sardines smothered in a rich cheese sauce. The double layer of richness can render the dish difficult to enjoy. While culinary experimentation is always encouraged, the paramount consideration in pairing sardines is achieving a state of balance. When you thoughtfully select complementary flavors, sardines transcend their humble origins as mere canned fish and evolve into a sophisticated ingredient that feels fresh, vibrant, and truly unforgettable. Mistake 3: rinsing away taste and nutrition. This particular culinary practice might come as a genuine surprise to many. One of the most detrimental actions one can take with sardines is to subject them to rinsing under running water prior to consumption. A considerable number of individuals engage in this practice with the earnest intention of reducing their intake of salt, fat, or that sometimes perceived fishy taste. However, in reality, this rinsing action serves only to indiscriminately wash away both the inherent flavor and a significant portion of the valuable nutrients contained within the sardines. When sardines are preserved in cans, the oil, sauce, or brine in which they are immersed is not merely a filler ingredient, it is an integral component of the preservation process. Over time, a subtle but significant exchange occurs between the fish and the surrounding liquid. The fish gradually release some of their natural juices into the liquid, while concurrently the liquid infuses back into the fish. This prolonged period of interaction allows essential nutrients, including omega-3 fatty acids and fat-soluble vitamins, to migrate into the packing medium. Consequently, when you rinse the sardines, you are not only stripping away their accumulated flavor, but also discarding these vital nutrients along with it. For sardines packed in oil, the act of rinsing introduces another problematic consequence. Oil and water, as is well known, do not readily mix. This incompatibility results in the sardines becoming slippery, prone to breaking apart, and ultimately less appetizing. The same principle applies to sardines preserved in tomato or mustard sauce. Rinsing them effectively strips away the zesty tang and the rich flavor that are crucial for balancing the inherent taste of the fish. Regarding the salt content, while it is true that sardines can be salty, rinsing them is not an effective solution for mitigating this. The salt is absorbed into the very fabric of the fish during the canning process, rather than merely residing on its surface. A far more effective approach involves selecting low-sodium varieties of sardines, or, alternatively, consciously reducing the salt content in the other components of your meal. This strategy ensures that you retain the full spectrum of flavor and nutritional integrity. Reflect on it this way. Rinsing sardines is akin to undoing months of meticulous flavor development and nutrient fortification in a matter of mere seconds. Instead of washing away this valuable bounty, it is far more beneficial to embrace the oil, brine, or sauce. These elements are an intrinsic part of what makes sardines such a uniquely special food. Mistake 2. Avoiding sardines because of fishiness. A primary reason why many individuals shy away from incorporating sardines into their diets stems from a pervasive belief that they possess an excessively fishy flavor. However, the fundamental truth of the matter is that sardines are, by definition, fish, and as such, they are expected to exhibit a taste reminiscent of the sea. The actual issue lies not with the intrinsic flavor of the sardines themselves, but rather with how they have been stored, prepared, or paired with other culinary elements. Properly prepared and stored sardines should present a clean, savory, and subtly briny taste, evoking the sensation of a fresh ocean breeze. If your experience with sardines is one of overwhelming or unpleasant fishiness, it is highly probable that they have not been stored optimally, have surpassed their peak freshness, or are simply not being complemented by the appropriate accompanying ingredients. The key to enjoying sardines is not to attempt to mask their natural flavor, but rather to enhance and brighten it. The inclusion of acidic components, such as a squeeze of fresh lemon juice, a judicious splash of vinegar, or a spoonful of tangy tomato sauce, can effectively cut through any potential heaviness and imbue the flavor with a lively character. Similarly, fresh herbs, including parsley, cilantro, or dill, serve the same purpose, introducing a note of freshness that beautifully balances the inherent richness of the fish. The quality of the sardines themselves also plays a pivotal role. Sardines that have been preserved in high-quality olive oil or a well-prepared tomato sauce often exhibit a much cleaner and less overpowering flavor profile compared to cheaper, poorly processed alternatives. Furthermore, it is worth noting that our taste buds possess a remarkable capacity for adaptation. If you are not accustomed to consuming fish frequently, sardines might initially register as having a strong taste. However, with continued exposure, your palate will begin to discern their subtle sweetness and inherent depth of flavor. Instead of dismissing sardines outright as being too fishy, it is far more rewarding to engage in experimentation with different flavor pairings. Try incorporating them into a vibrant salad, showering them with a generous squeeze of citrus, or serving them alongside crisp, refreshing vegetables. You will likely be pleasantly surprised at how swiftly that perceived fishy flavor transforms into a taste that you eagerly anticipate. Mistake 1. Throwing away the precious oil. This is, without a doubt, the most financially consequential and nutritionally wasteful mistake that people make when it comes to sardines. The act of draining away the oil that accompanies canned sardines and unceremoniously pouring it down the sink represents a significant loss. That glistening golden liquid is not mere waste. It is, in fact, a reservoir where some of the most exceptional flavor and vital nutrition are subtly hidden. Here's a detailed explanation of why this is the case. When sardines are carefully packed in oil, a gradual and intricate process of exchange takes place over an extended period. The fish, in their natural state, begin to release some of their inherent juices into the surrounding oil. Simultaneously, the oil itself is gradually absorbed back into the flesh of the fish. Through months of controlled storage, this oil becomes profoundly enriched with beneficial omega-3 fatty acids, essential fats, fat-soluble vitamins such as D and E, and a deep savory flavor profile. In essence, it transforms into liquid nourishment. By discarding this oil, you are not only forfeiting valuable calories, but more critically, you are actively throwing away vital nutrients that play a crucial role in protecting your heart, supporting brain function, and bolstering your immune system. From a culinary perspective, you are also discarding a free, readily available flavor enhancer that professional chefs would undoubtedly cherish having at their disposal. So, what are the practical and beneficial uses for this precious oil? The possibilities are numerous and remarkably simple. Consider drizzling this infused oil over your salads as a superior alternative to prepackaged bottled dressings. Utilize it as a flavorful base for sautéing onions and garlic before cooking pasta or rice, thereby imparting an extra layer of depth. Stirring it into soups or stews can significantly enrich the broth, adding complexity and body. You can even engage in a simple yet delightful culinary act by dipping fresh, crusty bread into the oil, perhaps with a squeeze of lemon and a sprinkle of fresh herbs for an impromptu yet satisfying snack. Furthermore, there's an added bonus. The flavor of the oil actually intensifies slightly after the can has been opened. When stored properly in the refrigerator for a few days, it can lend even more complexity and character to your various culinary creations. Sardine oil is simply too valuable, too packed with goodness, to be carelessly wasted. It is imperative to treat it with the respect it deserves, recognizing it for the secret ingredient it truly is. Who should be careful with sardines? Sardines are undeniably one of the healthiest foods available to us, a true nutritional marvel. However, like any potent foodstuff, they are not universally suitable for everyone, and certain individuals should exercise a degree of caution regarding their frequency of consumption. A few specific groups of people would be wise to be particularly mindful about eating sardines too often. First, individuals who have been diagnosed with high blood pressure or who exhibit salt sensitivity. The majority of canned sardines are preserved in brine, oil, or sauce, all of which inherently contain a significant amount of sodium. Excessive sodium intake can lead to an elevation in blood pressure, making low-sodium varieties of sardines a far more advantageous choice. Second, those who suffer from gout or have elevated levels of uric acid in their bodies. Sardines are naturally rich in purines, which the body metabolizes into uric acid. For individuals who are susceptible to this condition, an increased purine intake can trigger painful gout flare-ups. Therefore, moderation in consumption is of paramount importance for this group. Similarly, anyone who is prone to developing kidney stones, particularly those of the uric acid variety, should exercise caution. The purine content in sardines may potentially increase the risk of forming such stones. In these instances, it is highly advisable to consult with your physician before incorporating sardines into your diet on a regular basis. Third, pregnant women. While the good news is that sardines are remarkably low in mercury, a significant concern with larger fish like tuna or swordfish, it is still prudent to monitor sodium and calorie intake, especially if you are consuming them frequently. This is primarily due to the fact that they are often canned in oil or brine, which can contribute to these factors. For the vast majority of healthy individuals, sardines are an absolutely fantastic food that can and should be enjoyed regularly. However, if you fall into any of the aforementioned categories, adopting a path of moderation is undoubtedly the safest and most prudent course of action. To conclude this comprehensive examination, sardines stand as one of the most profoundly underestimated superfoods in existence, but this potential can only be fully realized if they are treated with the care and understanding they deserve. From the initial selection of the appropriate can to the meticulous processes of storage, pairing, and preparation, even minor mistakes can create a chasm of difference between a bland and wasted meal and a potent, life-enhancing boost of nutrition. Do not allow simple oversights to preclude you from experiencing the myriad benefits that sardines have to offer. Laden with protein, beneficial omega-3s, essential calcium, and a rich array of vitamins, they serve as invaluable allies in supporting the health of your heart, brain, and bones, all while remaining one of the most budget-friendly food choices available. Now that you are equipped with the knowledge, you are empowered to unlock their full potential and skillfully sidestep the pitfalls that commonly trip up most consumers. If you found this video to be informative and helpful, please do us a favor and tap that like button. This gesture significantly aids our channel and helps us continue producing valuable content. Furthermore, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to ensure you never miss out on future tips and insights regarding smart, healthy eating practices. Do you regularly incorporate sardines into your diet, or perhaps do you have a particularly cherished method for preparing them? We would be genuinely delighted to hear your thoughts and experiences, so please share them in the comments section below. Your contributions are invaluable to our community. We extend our sincere thanks for watching and for being an integral part of our growing community. And if you are eager to continue your journey of learning and discovery, we have 2 more engaging videos readily available for your viewing pleasure. Simply click on one of the suggested videos, and we eagerly anticipate seeing you there. If you found this video to be genuinely helpful, please make sure to hit that like button. It provides invaluable support to the channel. And remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you are always up to date and never miss out on any of our future videos. I am always eager to hear your opinions and insights, so please feel free to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next installment.